I think I kind of like it because CK doesn't lose too many matchups, especially against the melee heroes. And there's some really good hero pairings. I like the one with the Dark Willow, like Bramble Maze, and then Reality Rift once again into the Bramble.
That is
again.
nice. I think teams have gotten really good at like identifying what the heroes are good at and like pairing them with something to make up for the weaknesses, right? Like you have CK, maybe you have, as you said, like the Dark Willow give up a bit more team fight because CK's not really offering that from the offlane. Oh, AA again, but Gambit stole it. Smart people.
That's one way to try to break up that duo, right?
I think it is. It is BZZ's most played hero. I think he likes that one.
I think it's Pagna. BZZ Pagna, definitely. That's why they brought him here. Maybe they're like, Pagna, no one's picking that hero. That hero is relatively strong, so let's bring in BZZ. He has this beautiful golden set, and he's the master of the hero. Maybe that's the reason.
I do want to ask you before I forget as well. You know how Kyle always like picks a catchphrase and he kind of sticks to it throughout like the
throughout the whole that he creates his own meta.
Yeah. He's just like, you know, a great analyst once said, and he just quotes himself. He already has a catchphrase. He's been saying, "Control the armor, control the game." What do you think of this?
That's an old one.
It is, but it's his catchphrase again.
I mean,
how do you feel about it? Do you think that? Do you
high of expectations for him? So I'm like, whatever.
Do you think that he's right? Do you think it's time to bring that one back? Do you feel like in this current meta, it is control the armor, control the game?
This meta?
No.
No.
I just had to look at our casters. Fog laughed out loud, too loud. I can recognize that beautiful voice in the background. So yeah, well, we talked about the hero pairings. Once again, we see this Nyx Assassin, this time for Nigma, paired up with the Darkseer. Mind Control, the best Darkseer player in the world, and he enables Nyx Assassin to be more active, get the most out of the hero. We see also like TP rotations from Nyx Assassin once he gets possibly level 6 or just
Faceless Void.
I love that.
They banned both the mid carries commonly being played this patch by Nigma, like the TA and the Morphling. I think that's pretty interesting.
Templar Assassin just feels so good. I've seen different builds on Templar Assassin, even skipping the Blink Dagger. I've seen, I believe, one safe lane Templar Assassin in Southeast Asia region, and it also looked pretty good.
TA was what everybody across the board was talking to me about when I first got here.
Yeah, you came here, teams like reached out to you. We better message Rich, give him like what we are playing. I think this hero's imbalanced. We got to give him something to talk about on panel.
Everybody was helping me out. Yeah, catching up with everybody. You know, Jack pulled me aside. TA. Just kept talking about it, and we have definitely seen it get banned quite a bit. But you said right off the bat, the second that you saw Gambit make their pick, you said that you loved it. What do you love about it?
Did I say that?
You did.
I did. Never. Okay. So, well, I mean, we discussed about both of these heroes after the first game with Nyx Assassin and Ancient Apparition. So it's very hard to, like, you can't even itemize against Ancient Apparition. Before, you could get a BKB. It goes through spell immunity in the last, 6 months, year. So to defend yourself, and they need some kind of a save. I would love to see a saving position 5 inside a Chronosphere. Maybe put Nyx Assassin. I don't think. Maybe they could potentially just play Nyx Assassin as a 5 on the offlane.
I don't know if I force that race. Maybe Shadow Demon.
That's what I'm getting. Like, just get a Shadow Demon, because the Shadow Demon, like, 5 doesn't feel too good. You still need some kind of a cast range.
I mean, I like Oracle here. Bad. I don't know if they're gonna ban. Is that Oracle ban actually? Someone
it's
help.
Axe, isn't it?
That's
Axe?
Puck. That's Puck. No, from Gambit. Sorry.
Yeah, for Gambit.
I think that's a
Puck
Doom ban.
Wraith King. They're just covering the Faceless Void pick.
Is that Wraith King?
It is.
All right, my bad.
I think it should be Wraith King. I'm not sure if it is.
That looks like Wraith King to me. I can't tell what's next to it besides the puck.
Okay.
On the left side.
It's Wraith King. Makes sense, you know.
Yeah, but what's
the counter to Faceless Void? You don't care too much about the Chrono.
What's next to the Wraith King, though?
Well, that's a harder one. AOI, your turn.
Sorry, I spent that entire time.
Between IO and Wraith King.
I like the. Oh, did you guess? I was gonna Clockwork.
Okay.
Okay. I think I was gonna say I like Oracle.
He cheated. Your reduction instantly gave him. He played it off.
One of us.
I saw it with my eyes, guys. I think Oracle is really good for Nigma. They already have a lot of lane shove and Darkseer, and Nyx gives you a lot of control. Oracle actually does a decent amount of damage, and he's really good versus AA, because if you ulti someone who's ALT, the healing gets applied after the ALT. Worst case, even if you heal them a lot during ALT, they will just stay the same HP they were when you ulti them. It's a really good counter there.
They can't, like, they would definitely love to pick either Oracle
that's an Oracle
or
ban. They
Enchantress.
banned my idea. Enchantress on
But then you have
Nigma.
Enchantress AA, which seems super weak. Like,
oh, you mean Enchantress for Gambit?
for Gambit, yeah, because they don't have a dispel. I think they put themselves in a really bad spot.
I think that can actually work. That's a good idea. Yeah, but it is a bit weird, right? NJA.
Ench AA 2 support's very like you can abuse that pretty much. Like, let's say you get the mid tiny, keep killing one of those two easily.
I think right now for Gambit, they need something that helps them get on top of whatever Nigma heroes are going to come, right? Like, I think Faceless Void, you can't play him for Chrono. It's 160 seconds. And he really wants to pair, like last game, Nigma had the Mars and stuff, so they want like an offlaner and hopefully a 4 with a stun. Anytime you have like a lot of map threat, what it means is that the enemy team can also not push lanes as much. They'll have to rely on this Darkseer, because anytime you see someone, you'll stun them and kill them with the ALT. So I'd like to see that from the other two heroes.
Okay, on the side of Team Nigma, dipping into that reserve time a little bit here. What are you expecting to actually see for their pick?
I would love to see a save inside a Chronosphere. Like, you're putting yourself in a bad spot. If you don't get it, you still have a couple of options left in the pool, and then Faceless Void like they need to have another hero that just jumps you. You have a saving potential coming up from the Darkseer. Eventually, like if you get a mech before AA Blast or Nyx Assassin, just splitting the fight with the Carapace or a good stun. So I really wouldn't mind seeing the Shadow Demon.
Okay, so still coming back to that Shadow Demon.
Maybe Wyvern. I'm not a big fan of Wyvern in general. I think he's in a very bad spot, not enough damage, very cooldown dependent. Chen. That's a new hero, like this.
Chen.
And it's a Chen into AA.
When I played a lot of Chen, I actually didn't mind AA too much. I mean, like, it does have some really bad parts, obviously. But I think AA is generally weak against the summon heroes, right? Like, traditionally it's been like the sneaky summons, like Lycan, Nature's Prophet, Enchantress, Chen. Even though you counter the healing, it counters like a lot of what AA wants to do. The other thing is, like, Chen has so much sustain. Every time you're pushing a tower, like, the hero that you want to burst down with AA will always be at full HP. And the ALT is not that fast, so you'll mech him before the ALT hits.
Nigma's having too much fun. I can see a couple of laughs. Like, what are they gonna do? Just pick Chen. They don't know how to counter it. This hero has not been played in a year.
I think this hero only got picked like 4 times in all the DPCs. And it went 2-2. Like, it wasn't too bad, but it was on like the bottom 7 heroes in terms of how much.
What do you even build on the hero these days?
Lock at mech, I assume, but like there's an AA, so I don't know if you want to do that. If it's against AA, I think you still go lock at mech. But
what's Darkseer gonna get? Just Pipe against AA and Ancient Apparition? They have no damage if they decide actually to get these
for
items.
sure on Darkseer. I don't know whether it's before Pipe or not. Like some Mana Boots, Soul Ring, and you either get eggs or Pipe, and then the other one. Well, Nigma's draft is honestly wild. I'm just so fixated on the Chen pick because I thought this hero was unpickable right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Wild is a pretty good descriptor for what Team Nigma's putting together right now.
Definitely unexpected. So seeing these 4 heroes being paired up together, they have a good combination, let's say.
Do you think this is an Extra Invoker too? Because they just have like that Nyx?
Yeah, just for the Sunstrike possibly. They still don't know the matchup. Okay, it's Lina.
In general, I think Coswex is a bit better versus Lina, but it's not like Extra really loses a lane. Lina might just outfarm you a bit when she shoves the wave. I think
but with the Forge Spirit, you have like that extra damage that you need to secure a couple of CS.
Yeah.
They banned Lycan. When I first saw the new patch, like, and everything with Lycan, I thought like, Necro, this hero is dead. It's been like they tried to get him some buffs. I wasn't really convinced, but after seeing him in action, I think the hero's pretty decent.
After seeing him today,
yeah.
You like him? Okay.
Nothing too spectacular, you know, like, yeah, Lycan is imbalanced, but feels okay, like
feels
3 out of 5, yeah, feels playable, unlike
good this game, right? Like, they would have to Chronosphere him every fight. He's really good versus like Lina, Ursper, and AA, I think.
Lina doesn't like anything that gets on top of her, even though Lina in general feels like good might be a bit weak in the mid game. Depends on the itemization. I'm a big fan of like Scepter here, being able to save yourself, dispel things for darks here, get a BKB, potentially Boots of Travel, and then turn that into some kind of damage. Daedalus, Satanic.
Travel's Eos, BKB's.
Yeah,
that sounds really good. I think Immersion.
PL there, right?
Sorry?
That's PL right there?
That's PL, yeah.
He looks good.
Yeah.
Fellow Catman.
I mean, honestly, the pictures look good. It's just like I've only stared at Dota things my entire life. I don't know anything else.
I'm just blind. Is honestly
You don't play other games?
Like, not well. Like, I don't know if you can say play. Like, I play CSGO, but like I'm running around.
Yeah, like
can't hit anyone.
15 minutes of CSGO, realized that's not for me, came back to Dota.
Yeah.
I play like idle games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really good at those.
Idle games?
Have you played like?
Yeah. No, trust me, I've played
very high skill.
I've played
You play
plenty
WoW,
of
right?
those.
Idle.
I pretty much can only handle idle games, but we're seeing this get locked in right now.
Viper again.
They could
another
get
one.
like a range carry hero, maybe Troll. I wouldn't mind seeing Troll that can transform, just hard to burst down with the ulti as well, but you need to be a bit more careful how you're gonna use it.
Gambit's lineup is super dependent on Chrono right now.
Yeah, it's just
like if they don't hit a good Chronosphere, they're just gonna get kited. Like, because it's really hard to hit a multiple hero ALT unless you have someone who goes in to like bait them together, and they don't have really a hero like that.
okay. So like transformation hero, the Troll that I mentioned.
It counters AA because you can actually sunder through the ALT, and again we mentioned like AA doesn't like playing versus those summon heroes. It does terrible at illusions, pushing all your lanes. One illusion actually beats you in a 1v1. It's not a fun game to play for AA.
You get harassed quite a lot by these two heroes. Like, it's a killer lane for Gambit once again. Previous game, Nyx Assassin plus Viper. This one, Earth Spirit plus a Viper. Ton of kill potential. What I would love to see, potentially they rotate on Terrorblade, hide in the jungle with 3 heroes, kill him when he pops the meta, plant down the ward. Gonna get the advantage from the early start, but heavily favoring Enigma's draft in this one.
Yeah, and give us a little bit of an idea of what you expect their game plan to be as well just now. Let's take a step back though and keep it high level and talk about Gambit. What's their actual route to victory if they're going to pull this one off?
I think Gambit has to win their offlane really hard, because the reason why Chen's supposed to be weak right now is because he can't really get any creeps early. And like the hero's just a bot then, like he gives you carry 1 regen. So that means Gambit have to win their offlane, and they have to win it in a way where the Earth Spirit can lead the Viper, he can be self-sustainable, and he can gank forward the Lina. If these 2 conditions are met and you can snowball these heroes, then I think I'll feel like Void is like free to do whatever he wants. He won't be relying on Chrono. And then Gambit like have a clear win condition for the game.
All right. Well, you just heard from our analysts the potential win condition for Gambit. Let's see if they're going to be able to find it, or if Nigma is going to be able to find a second victory in this best of 2.
Yeah, and here we are with game 2. Now, Fog, the draft as it developed for Nigma, I think is one we're going to be focusing on. A bit wild there, the Chen into the TB. Some interesting questions to be asked around there, aren't there?
Yeah, some heroes that are pretty much unpicked a lot of the times too, especially in the circuit. Chen being one of the big ones. Terrorblade also in a lot of regions was not really touched too much. I don't know about for SA for you. We did not have too much in Europe, yeah, but I can see the reasoning why. I think Curtis brought up the best point there probably at the end there for me was, you know, the Sunder. Sunder versus AA will give Chen maybe potentially time to be able to buy time for AA Blast to tick off, and then you can get your Hand of God off your heals, etc. So it's an interesting draft. It's greedy, and we'll see if it'll work, because I don't know, I'm really curious to learn some stuff about this this Chen hero, as I think it's probably one of the worst, if not the worst hero in pubs, but in pro play, always will change the concept of the hero. So I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with it, and I'm also looking forward to see, of course, Immersion Earth Spirit. We have to just immediately say that one right away. It's his most played hero. He's been super dominant whenever he's played it in like any of the time periods that it's been out. Also, we have, of course, Mind Control Darks here, so we got a lot of these master tier heroes, master tier player combos coming into play.
Oh, we sure do. I mean, in terms of the style of the teams wanting to play these drafts, do you think it's a bit of a role reversal in the Nigma wanting to kind of play around the map and play the macro game, whereas Monaco sort of more tight together, the team fight combos?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, for me, this game, it's Eyes on Immersion and Lornoff. Same thing, kind of the foreign mid players to dictate the pace of the game and just get very far ahead, because if they don't get far ahead, I feel like we could see a similar thing happen where the Viper doesn't know where he's supposed to be in the game, because lane start excellent for the Viper last game, but then he ends the game like 3-2, where you're like, wait, what the heck's happening? This Viper was owning the game, but he just didn't have a place to actually do much of anything. They're actually under ward vision here.
Yeah, they got spotted placing the ward. Nigma knows exactly what's up.
They can't punish it though. Look at those level 1 heroes. Probably the worst level 1 heroes I think you could draft yourself with. Nyx, Chen, Invoker, TB. Like no one does much of anything. So
we've got no stuns, we've got no nukes. We're just gonna sit here and wait. Yeah, Kuro gets the D ward straight away.
Okay, I'm gonna be watching the Chen, seeing what he's gonna be doing, because as we know, you can't really take creeps until way later on. You can only take the early level like 1, level 2 creeps, or level 3 of course, are the big ones, but you don't really get good ones. Like your best creep that you can get is like the Harpy and the Troll Hill Priest, which you can get I think at 4. Which okay, we see them block a little bit messed up there from Miracle. Kuroki tried to help out.
Oh, he's going crosswex as well. I mean,
he is.
How do you feel about that in this game? Because I know Aoi said it's a bit better against the Lina in the laning stage, but it's not going to offer them that real big damage along with the Nyx and Darks here, is it?
No, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what he does go for. If he does go for maybe something of a hybrid, because Sunstrike is very effective this game. He has Nyx Assassin. The hunting is always going to be very easy for you to just like one-shot the AA inside the fight. And AA does not have a bailout like he had last time with like the Lifestealer constantly saving him. So we will see which route he does take. Immediately same thing. Saw this exact same thing from GH last time, always pulling waves.
And Mind Control just hiding in the trees, waiting for that movement from the carry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot on the shoulders of Miracle here with that crosswex Invoker, if he does go that directly, looks like he is. Yeah. To make the early tempo plays, the rotations at level 6, level 7 especially.
I think it's a lot of the big thing for me is just like looking at mana pools too. Like some of these heroes, you get hit by EMP or you're screwed. Like Viper and Earth Spirit, really reliant of course on that mana, but laning phase. I think Exort for me actually does not have fun versus Lina at all. Quas, you can trade because you've got the regen coming in. If you go Exort, you're playing Forge Spirit, and Lina just farms your Forge Spirit, and you fall really far behind.
Yeah,
so.
She's just outranging you, clicking you non-stop. Yeah. That's a real dangerous game you do play. Well, wave drag back here for Mind Control to gather up some of that early experience and gold, while Kobold,
hey, Speedy,
he's got his little holy grail there on Speedy Boy, scouting out whatever's coming. An immersion with Afterlife down here up against the Terrorblade so far seems pretty comfortable.
Yeah, he's fit into this Viper matchup. It's nowhere near as bad as a Lifestealer. They actually can pose some kill threat, perhaps if they do get a good positioning.
Oh, look
nice
at that.
Body blocks too.
Yeah, the Kobold's getting him. Oh, he's blocked him up. RTW, one more touch from that Metamorphosis gets him first blood.
All right,
and now top lane as well. BZZ in a bit of trouble. GH and Mind Control, they can't dive him under tier 1, but yeah, that bot lane play.
Wow. I mean, that was beautiful. Kuroki showing off with the Chen, just some body blocks. You don't need a creep that does anything, you just need an actual unit to just tank the tower.
You know, when Chen was
nice.
semi-popular, what, like a year ago or so, people were taking range creeps, right?
Yeah.
You take the range creep, you got that kind of piercing damage, whacking into people, but yeah, straight away with a Kobold.
My God.
Beautiful stuff.
That was one of the most beautiful things I've seen from a Chen like ever. I love the body block plays. Mid, we're still seeing Lina coming out ahead, but at least you're not falling too far behind as that Invoker. Getting kills on Viper early is very impactful. That can tend to snowball the game out of control too, because last time Viper had a good lane and wasn't able to do too much. This is another one of those games where you could start to feel kind of out of the game very quickly as a Viper. All these summons, all these different things just getting on top of you.
Can't contend with them.
It's gonna be annoying, yeah.
It's very similar for all those green heroes, the Viper, the Veno, the Necro. You know, if they have a good laning stage, they can snowball, but if they die 2-3 times in the first 5-6 minutes, they really can fall flat very quickly. And Dream up top for now. Farming away, 15-5, still looking pretty good in that laning stage for Gambit as they roll onto TB bottom. Penitence, nice little slow, a bit of turnaround from Mr. Kobold again, but RTW has the poison stacks on him. Dead to the Viper. Just before the urn gets delivered, so a little bit sad for Afterlife, but a great pickup nonetheless.
Dude, they're aggressive with their tips too. Last game they were tipping ILtW all the time as well. Again, he dies once and they tip him again.
Yeah, trying to get under his skin.
It does seem like it.
Miracle, now about 10 CS behind. Loronoff putting that pressure on with the right clicks, brings out clarity. And 4 mana runes about to spawn, something that Invoker...
He needs help.
Yeah.
He always needs help to be checking these 4-minute runes, because he can't push the lane out. Lina, one of the best heroes in the game to be able to force lanes. Invoker, not so much at all. So they will have GH check the top rune. GH getting chased out a little bit from BZZ, but he's fine.
Was that a bottle that was given to him by Darkseer, I guess, as well?
Yep.
Sharing that bottle over to refill it up, so very nice done.
Love that.
Knowing that your Invoker is not going to be buying one. The Gambit boys. Yes, Monaco Gambit. They're spotting out that mid lane, you know, EMP Tornado catching onto that Lina. As we do have a bit of a go in that mid spot.
I like being able to see them. We see Kuroki, he does hit his level 3, so he's got his level 2 persuasion. He finds the mana burn creep. This is actually pretty effective too, this game, especially versus Viper. Bit limited on your mana pool. We see Afterlife, he's prepared for it though. Has double mango and urn, so we'll have a decent chunk there.
Oh, that's a good stunt up.
Up top.
Dream doesn't have time walk. Already spent his dilation as well, but it looks like with the boots and 12-1 charges, he'll be fine to tango up and get back into that lane yet again. But it's the contest of that stack and the pull that was most important there for Nigma. Make sure they keep Dream away from these creep waves as that wave gets towards their tier 1. As Kuro,
he looks
he's
pretty
tank going up, but Orb of Venom, the poison attack's going to start coming real heavy onto him. Chen down in the river, isolated, all alone. Another good start out for Gambit going into all these lanes.
Does pull them a bit far away from the lane at the very least, so ILtW gets some free last hits without just getting poked constantly from that Viper. So he'll be happy for that Chen death at the least. Lornoff forced back to go to base again. Level 6 already online. And Miracle, he's farming up the double null into the urn.
Okay, so definitely looking for that active movement around sort of 6.5, 7 minutes where he'll move into probably the top lane, right? That's where your action's going to be with Nyx and Darkseer. Force the Void out of lane and then maybe shift the TB up there to give him a bit of safe farm. Right, for now, a nice bit of calm for both sides, but favoring Gambit, looking at the CS and the net worth, they are starting to ramp up. Miracle is going to pop out that EMP on Lornoff. Has enough sustain with his bottle charges though.
He spawns bottom. Gambit gets a bit lucky getting this one, spawning down there instead of top.
The RNG.
Yep, RNG always coming into play. Lornoff has a nice stack. He can farm for himself on that small camp. Immersion already level 4 too. A nice start. Now bottom, Afterlife does have to be careful. He's getting mana burned up from Kuro. There's actually the double mana burn coming out. Very frustrating.
It was scouted though. That's why Afterlife is running all the way across. They saw GH with the Observer Ward, which literally just expired. I don't know if they saw the smoke, but they'll walk into the Nyx nonetheless. And GH, he tries, but he's silenced up straight up by Immersion.
Nice
Does get the 2-man stun, very nicely done. And GH is slipping away, but a hasted Lina. Always going to close the gap for the Laguna Blade finish. Oh, this is now the time where Miracle needs to start moving. He's got his urn. Oh, mind control though, the cold feet Chrono. They've got the bubble onto the Darkseer. He's a tanky fella, but if he gets some bashes going for Dream, they'll finish him off.
Of course they do. They get the nice double bash toward the end there. Some nice movements coming out from Gambit. This early aggressive lineup again that they've drafted themselves. Just like last game, they did have this good early movement in the start of the game. So doing similar. And now ILtW may be feeling a bit pressured. He might actually have to start going to jungle just as this Terrorblade, because whenever Lina's off map, it's very scary. So let's see what Miracle tries to do. He's going to start pushing the mid lane a little bit for some reaction over.
I'm still curious about this Chen as well. What kind of item build, skill build? I hesitate to ask what you expect from it, because he's got Medallion, that's kind of normal. But 2 points, he's going to get gone on. Kuro, this Immersion diving in, and Afterlife just pushes so much damage over time, especially with that urn, and gets himself a killing spree.
This is annoying though. He might actually have to buy something like, I mean, he probably won't, but maybe something like mana boosts, because these double mana burns, like he just did it again. Look, Afterlife said, God, come on. He actually queued up mana boots. I was about to say, like, he's just getting triple mana burn. They have no mana bottom lane. He has an Earth Spirit with no mana. Yeah, he actually gets the mana boot, so he's going to be able to continue applying this pressure down here. And ILtW forced to jungle. Darkseer's lane a little bit complicated now too, with the Nyx Assassin's not with him. So now GH, he's going to do the Ion Shell meme. He's just going to sit next to the creeps, get himself some levels, get that farm up for mind control.
I was going to ask if that stack was going to be for ILtW, but yeah, you're right. It's that Nyx Assassin.
He needs levels. I think they need something to fix a bit of this early game for them, because it's a very greedy draft that they put themselves in. So definitely need GH to have a bit of a better time to make moves around with Miracle. Speaking of Miracle, he's gonna get cold feeted.
Yeah, he's stunned up. Chain disabled. There's a good carapace. Miracle, the fairy fire that wand as well. It was a big wand and a great tornado holds them back. Gambit still moving forward as they find Kuro elsewhere on the map, but Lornoff going to miss out on the Dragon Slave. A good sidestep from the Invoker, and bottom lane, that's where the action was. The trade out there, Kuro for Immersion. And Nigma going to be happy with that, all things said and done. I mean, mid and bot lane going their way.
Yep, and they also save ILtW's Metamorphosis. He didn't actually pop it there for the kill because of mind control rotating down at the early point and wall.
Very nice. It does leave top lane open a little bit, though.
It's always going to be hard for them to set onto Dream, unless Miracle makes the move up there, or unless he goes for something like an Orchid build, which he's not. They're going to have a pretty tough time actually killing Dream.
It was an early Void pick as well.
It was.
First phase Void pick, and they've not really given themselves the options to disable him. So what's the game plan going to be? Outrange him with a TB, get ILtW stronger than the Void?
Yep, I think that is definitely the plan. Just out-farm him. That's usually the thing that Terrorblades are able to do, is just get those item timings much faster than a hero like Void. Unless Void is getting successful chrono kills every single time, you should see the TB out-farm him over the course of the game.
Start to pull ahead. Oh, some good vision coming out again from Nigma. Guarding top triangle, watching for that bottom rune spot, and any entry points as Miracle, and yet again, chucks a few spells at Lorinov, chipping away at him and gets out of the range of the Light Strike array.
Another rune bottom, though. And they're getting a lot of good RNG on their side for this control. Great ward coverage so far from Gambit, as we've seen all 4 of these wards placed early on, just aggressive, just be able to watch any type of movements that are coming out.
Yeah, I see pretty much everything.
Yep. Afterlife, as we said, this time he's changed the build up a little bit because he had to go Arcane Boots early so he can actually lane. And they're just going to send the Darkseer down. So aggressive moves from the side of Nigma, very difficult to do. Until GH has 6, until Miracle wants to pair up with him, there's not much that they can do.
Yeah, biding their time. It's the waiting game. And we saw that from Vici Gaming earlier on today. Just delay, delay, delay. Something that Invoker is exceptionally good at. Force people away from the tier 1 tower pushes especially.
Usually has some like dream kind of combo to set up for the Cataclysm late game, which they don't have the easiest way to set up, but they do have Vacuum plus Nyx stun. If they get the Vacuum, Nyx stun, Cataclysm, like these team fights can just be devastating.
What if Chen gets like 4 Centaurs as well, you know? We've seen that before.
That is true. Don't get so ambitious though for this.
I am expecting big things from Akuro Chen. Catapult Wave mid, going to allow them to open up a little bit on the tier 1. Gambit mounting a defense though, Light Strike array onto Invoker, and the stun back from GH, but Dream's here with a chrono.
Nice chrono.
They catch out the Invoker, he's a tanky boy, and he's still going to get found though. Lorinov with all that magic damage to pump into the Chronosphere, and Terrorblade can't finish off the tower.
That was beautiful. My Control not looking to punish top. He sees an AA by himself. That Ion Shell starting to build, and he's saving the Vacuum just in case for the TP. Should be able to just get the kill now.
Yeah, there it is.
Nicely done.
BZZ down. That's going to give free reign to Mind Control to keep on farming up top. Well, it looks like GH in behind enemy lines here, trying to get in behind the Viper potentially.
Oh, and they do have 3 creeps mid.
Just
only gonna be illusions. Yeah.
Viper's the one being eyed up. GH doesn't really have the backup that he wants close enough to him, but Afterlife might still get caught out here in the trees. He's juked through though. Passes by the observer ward, but yeah, that was very close from GH to find the latch onto him.
And now we've got Hand of God in play, so something that people probably won't expect.
Afterlife walked back into them. They've got the stuns there. Invoker's rotation, that's what we've been expecting from Miracle. Get the action going, but the Ice Blast and Dream arriving, wanting GH's Nyx Assassin. A trade out, but Nigma's going to be able to defend towers, make sure that Gambit can't make the aggressive moves.
They're fine with this. You know, this was a really good move actually from Nigma, getting an Urn Charge. They're pushing top lane with the Darkseer. They're getting mid farm for the Terrorblade. They're happy with this move. Another tip. Look at what is going? They're just tipping ILtW.
Oh, and BZZ's dead as well. Miracle with alacrity finds the pick off. Well, I'm starting to wonder, you know, ILtW maybe he's played with a couple of these CRS players in the past.
I do believe so, and that's the Spirit Vessel now done. So Miracle's got a very good timing on this one. Nothing like fantastic where it's actually just countering any type of healing, but it does increase your threat potential, and immediately they smoke.
Straight away.
GH and Miracle making the moves here with Kuroki too. The Vendetta's online.
He's got a Hellbear, a Wild Wing, and that's Lorinov spotted out. Yeah, they go straight on with a Tornado, catching the lean. A huge kill for Nigma. That shuts her down real hard. You know, we were talking about the Viper in that regard. The snowball required. Lena in a similar spot, isn't she?
Yes. And again, yeah, this is just the early aggression that we saw from Nigma last time, playing around this aggressive ward vision, taking over triangle very early on. Immersion showing himself bottom, actually just has to roll away.
And TP's into mid. Might want to smoke up with Ancient Apparition and try and get something rolling themselves. But it is just 3 lanes here from Nigma, pressuring in towards towers, forcing Gambit to react and play defensively.
And he's tipping them back now too. Looks like a smoke going to be coming out for Gambit to try to punish. But they have to punish something. Their 3 cores are showing on 3 lanes, so they have to start making some type of moves when they don't have Chrono. Chrono is going to be back up in 2 seconds, but I feel like they want to save it for a big kill. They want to try to get 1 kill without it, and then if any TP follow-ups come, then they use the Chronosphere. They can't force it too much.
Oh, look at ILtW. Oh, it's going to be a close one. He does get found, yeah. Sunder, not going to be there, is it? He's silenced and stunned. He gets it off. The Ice Blast, though, is going to finish him off. Emergent rolling back across towards that lower part of the map, but they've got a vacuum wall onto the two. AfterLife and BZZ will have to pay with their lives as they played aggressively into this triangle, but in comes Dream. They might have a chrono turnaround. Inside the Nether Toxin as well. They pick off Miracle, and GH is gone as well. Oh, Gambit, what a beautiful play. Just like you said, Fox, wait with that Faceless Void to come in for the last move.
Oh, they still lose Immersion, the wall, and the Ion Shell still coming onto fruition a little bit for him. But yes, big moves, getting both cores and inside the Nether Toxin. That's definitely the big thing. And all that, it's through Hand of God. They didn't actually have to worry about that heal at all.
Yeah, Kuroki was pushing down bottom lane with a few little creepies.
Yep. Tried to help out with the heal, but didn't matter, did not actually push them up far enough. I mean, great moves. Really good invasive moves. Double wards placed down around the triangle now, too, because that's where TB's going to farm most of this time here.
Do you want to see it like a shard or anything like that from the Chen? But what, like, next item feels a little bit difficult for him to get towards.
Gary, I gotta say, I have no idea anymore with this here. Solar Crest, he's got it at a nice early time, which is great. He's gonna be able to buff up whenever the TB's inside of the fights, but beside that, I don't really know what you get anymore. I think Holy Locket's a decent option. If the Darkseer doesn't go mech, you go mech. Even though you're versus AA, you can still be kind of decent. Yeah. I think right now he's happy. He's very satisfied, at least with himself.
That's a good sentry mid. Emergent sees GH, but he didn't react in time. I think he was looking elsewhere, so that allows Miracle and GH to get on top of him. A little bit of a slow reaction there from the Earth Spirit, and now Roshan.
There's no Chronosphere.
Opens up for Nigma into the pit. Metamorphosis from ILtW.
And they've got Solar Crest for this, plus the Alacrity. This is one buffed up TB.
Goodness, look at him go. And Mind Control's going to tank it up for him. Ancient Apparition can probably scout in the pit. If he steps too far forward, though, GH will be ready to strike. 10
seconds on Ice Blast still. Lornoff nowhere near Dream, as we said, Chrono not available. Yeah, they can't contest this.
No, they can't. There's a free one for Nigma. And now, there's a Terrorblade with Dragonlance, Yasha, and that Aegis of the Immortal while they smoke straight out of the pit. They want to push this advantage as hard as they can.
And we see Miracle is starting to go toward a bit of that hybrid. 4 points in Quas, 5 points Wex, getting more points in Exor, now going Midas, so he can have that great scaling potential later on for Cataclysm and high point Alacrity.
That high ground ward sees him.
Afterlife.
I don't want to go too deep, respecting the fact they could TP to tier 3s and 2s, so they cut in between the wave instead. And Afterlife, oh my god, it just doesn't last long. That's a Viper. Slain in a matter of seconds.
And he gets the whole wave as well, too, on Miracle. Midas is going to be coming out right after this one. Immersion's considering perhaps going, but they're very limited on the way they can make moves. It seems like they're only trying to make plays with the Chronosphere, which it feels like they might start getting outpaced.
And Dream also heading towards BKB.
They both have to, it feels like. Team fight, as we always say, Darkseer is really brutal, especially when you have like something with an EMP combo on top of it. A vacuum into EMP, your fight's over if you don't have that magic immunity. Again, this ward.
Sunstrike. I'm going to find BZZ. He came in to try and de-ward it, didn't he? Yeah, Vortex and Sentry there. He knows the ward's on the high ground, but that's a couple of kills they've successfully claimed, while Terrorblade kills mid-tier 1. Top tier 1 opens up the top third of the map to himself, so it's free farm time continuing for ILtW.
And it's the second game now where we see Afterlife, great start in the game, but now we're seeing them just abusing the Viper. The slowness of this hero is getting caught off guard. Nigma's playing a bit too fast here. Again, Immersion, they see him.
Oh, goodness. He just stood straight on top of that high ground. He gets a magnetized with a vacuum wall. Afterlife's caught up inside of it. Dream gets the chrono in.
It's only on one.
Does only catch one, and Miracle still pummeling into them. The meatball dropped an Afterlife, but the Laguna Blade towards that Darkseer. Mind Control falls, but Afterlife is dead as well. Oh, do we get some buybacks? Immersion wants to buy back. Miracle, Ice Blast, and the Urn, but a great Sunder. ILtW saves up his main carry. Miracle's still going to get rolled on, though, but GH looking for the lineup of the stun. Dream, time walks away, but the carapace and the catch onto him might be able to finish him off, as Miracle's still surviving. Even though the cold snap, Miracle's alive. No way.
Okay.
Doesn't survive. The AA gets the final touch, but Aegis is claimed up. Dream has done a great job tracking back onto that TB, while AA gets away from that top part of the fight, and Dream looks safe and sound.
Dude, look at Kuro.
As Shen is chasing the AA.
Kuro with the Penitence max build plus the Solar Crest. Look at him go.
Come on, then. You want to fight hit me.
He's gonna die.
Level 4 penitence.
He's actually gonna get him.
Just bullying him. He's whacking into the AA.
Oh my god, dude.
That's a solo kill.
Dude.
How much gold has he got from that?
Earlier too in the fight, he had all the illusions from the Darkseer. He penitences a hero with the Solar Crest, all the illusions beating on somebody.
That's powerful.
Oh my god, that was actually pretty sick.
Heck of a Chen creeps, wall illusions, TB illusions, Force spirits. We were talking about the zoo earlier on, and the Lycan ban, which we didn't really get to talk about, that Monaco did pull out. Definitely a sound, solid plan there, because it's definitely coming to fruition now with all of these summons.
And it definitely all kicks off with, it's a one-man chrono, right? It only catches not only one hero, but it's the tanky hero. They catch the Darkseer with the pipe inside of it. So even though they have to utilize some buybacks to get some return kills, Nigma is still in a perfectly fine position. Their Aegis goes down, but in a very effective way. As ILtW, now he's up, he's got Metamorphosis, and he almost actually saved Miracle and all of that too.
Oh, it was a really closely contested team fight. That was real wonderful stuff from ILtW.
But that's their chrono fight. That's the fight that Gambit has to smash the fight, because without it, they don't really have too many plays that they can make. GH.
Yeah, now they're kind of picking up scraps and looking for whatever they can. On GH, he scouted them. Time dilation from Dream. He's looking towards Miracle, but Immersion gets away from GH. Line control runs off to the left, and it looks like Miracle's still being chased, but a tornado. Oh, time dilation ending. So he'll get the invoke back off cooldown. Ghostwalker on cooldown, though. So still troubling times ahead for Miracle. Deafening blast. He's got EMP up, but he's dead. He's done for. Immersion closes the gap and helps out Dream.
Oh, I was a little worried too, because I'm like, uh-oh, Immersion's actually out of stones, but Dream, time dilation versus Invoker, 5 spells cooldown, 5 stacks of time dilation is no joke. It's able to stick on him. And now, you know, Chronosphere is actually going to be back up in 8 seconds, and that was meta forced. So Nigma making a pretty big mistake there as Gambit able to punish it heavily.
I guess the fortunate side for Nigma is no Roshan, no real objectives that Gambit can go for.
Yes.
Tier 1 mid, they can probably come back and defend when everyone's alive because the waves were so far pushed out.
But this Void is top net worth still. Dream 408 above a Terrorblade. That is pretty damn good for him.
Exceptional. GH gonna hold out on that mid lane. Gambit all grouped up together and smoking. GH pinged that. He knows exactly what's going on. And he should be able to pop the smoke. He does, in fact.
There is the Chronosphere available.
He sees it coming. Miracle is jumped on by Immersion, but a nice little maneuver out. Forces another roll while GH toys with the Viper. Rodovatos in towards him. No carapace for another couple of seconds, so he sacrifices himself.
Exactly. That was such a nice sacrifice. He literally runs into the 3 of them and there, stuns the Viper with the carapace, stuns the other 2. He's like, don't look at Miracle, look at me. As they're still going to continue to try to push this tower here. No Metamorphosis, so Nigma not looking to contest around this area. Also into Chronosphere, as we said before, still open for Gambit.
Yeah, you know they're going to play tight-knit together. That small map for Gambit. You've got Terrorblade out on the map. And it looks like Darkseer down bottom as well, so spreading out, more efficiently farming. Dire even scanning in their own jungle, expecting someone to be there as well.
Pretty interesting that we see GH just going for the Ags build this game. Guess he wants to like sit really far back while they're sieging and just wants to be able to throw spells from deep distance without being like in presence of like a Chronosphere opportunity. Kind of neat. I thought maybe he would go for something like Blink because I saw My Control rush it. Yeah. So I thought maybe they'd go for some type of combo, you know, Blink Vacuum Stun, but not going to be the case. I think the other one is, I mean, it has its merits for sure to be able to sit back.
I guess the range on the stun with Aghanim Scepter increases, right? So you've got like a pseudo blink almost. That range gives you the
mana burn as well too is pretty ridiculous. That ability as the game progresses gets absolutely insane. And we do know this is a pretty greedy draft. Even though there's a Chen, which is kind of like anti-greed, which is more of like an early game pressure hero, the other picks are the Darkseer, Terrorblade, Invoker. These heroes just continue to scale pretty ridiculously. As Dream spotted bottom, but he also sees GH with that Sentry Ward. So GH is going to be pushed away.
Oh, they're so afraid. GH, usually a signal that there's more heroes behind him. Darkseer was just clearing out that wave. And Nigma continuing to take a hold of this map.
So we have a pretty cool concept coming into play because we don't see Chen, right? But we did see an early pick Invoker. So he is queuing up the shard. I know you were talking to me about it. This is actually a save mechanic inside Chronosphere.
Oh yeah, it is.
So that is actually something pretty cool that we could see coming into play later on when Kuro does finish it. As they're actually, it looks like maybe they're even giving him some farm for it. Because, I mean, that could be huge, right? A Chronosphere only catches 1 or 2 heroes. If he's able to send them back to base, reset the fights, that could be pretty massive. So that's actually pretty cool. We'll see if that does actually end up happening.
That could be really great. Yeah, he's going to have the Force Staff and that shard save.
Yeah.
Is it I guess it's because they changed it around a bit with Kotal and the Chen, right? It literally sends you back to Fountain, doesn't it?
Sends you back to Fountain, yeah. It's small cast range, so it's only 600. Okay. So it's actually not as much as usual. Sometimes you'll find, you know, like a telescope or something a little later run. They will help you out, so we will see if that does happen.
That's like the old combo we used to see with Storm, like ball lightning out of base with that. Yeah. With that on him, or the old punch hooks back in the Fountain. Oh, hello, Dream. All good stuns and Sunstrike Meatball. Nah, he's a faceless void.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine with the time walk.
Both health talents as well. We see the 9 strength and 300 HP talent, so he's just fine versus this aggression. He also has Pupil's Gift, so even more strength on top of all of it there to be tanky.
2,500 HP.
Yeah. So let's see. They also can what? Who's actually ones who can potentially still go for Boots of Travel? I think it's just Miracle, because that's usually the way you want to do it, right? You send them back, they box right back into the fights. So timing's now coming out for Nigma. Ags is done on the Invoker too. So they are still in a strong moment here, but Dream, he is still keeping up net worth versus Terrorblade, which is huge as a Void.
Oh, he is, yeah.
Usually the TB, this is where we start to see, like when the game starts to slow down, the TB starts to pull ahead. But yeah, LTW, these 2 deaths definitely hurt him a bit. And
the first hit Dream. Bash. He finds the Nyx Assassin. Afterlife's there to help him out with a bit of stun and disable from that Atos. And Dream, that time, walks straight into the camp.
Yep.
Well, they're drawing the line across the Roshan. What's the time on that? Over a minute?
1 minute 15, yep.
Still a little bit of time to play around with here then.
If they can get a pick off in the next minute or so on the side of Gambit, they could be the ones that look to actually take it away from Nigma.
Especially on like the Invoker who just bought out all of his items, right?
Yes, he did.
I mean, buybacks now becoming increasingly important, especially on these support heroes.
We're seeing a lot more defensive warding coming out from Nigma now. It's actually very defensive warding also from the side of Gambit, just waiting for that Rosh, it does feel like.
That's a pivotal moment.
Oh, that is a rare talent I see right there. 40 attack speed on the Void. I'm not a big fan of this one normally, so we'll see. The time walk just works so well with the shard once you start getting it, once you get that advantage, but looks like he wants all-in damage for himself. We'll see if that ends up hurting him, because that time walk talent is busted. Once you get shard, it is so broken.
You're jumping in and out over and over again.
The distance as well that you get with the cooldown just starts to get pretty ridiculous. We'll see if that does actually hurt Dream, because I actually see like almost no Voids take that attack speed talent anymore.
Especially against the team you were mentioning, Nigma have struggles catching, right? Nyx Assassin, the vacuum, that's kind of it. Maybe Invoker Tornado can clip him. 3 couriers flying overhead, a squadron of couriers there from Nigma, probably going to smoke together. TB Illusions looking to scout out into that dire jungle top side. And Gambit grouped up in that mid lane.
So what they got? Invoker with Ags, they got Scotty on the Terrorblade, and it looks like Mind Control has an Aeon Disc at the ready to unlock if he sees an opportunity.
And Mind Control putting out all the ion shells he can. He's got that Blink Dagger jump with GH stun, and they've seen a target bottom. Faceless Void already TPing out though. So Dream dodges away from all that danger coming his way.
Much smoother game this time from Dream. Last game we saw him get caught twice as the Naga in some pretty precarious positions. This time, level 21, playing the map really smooth.
And now is it there? Yeah, I was going to say, is it their time to smoke? You know, we see one smoke kind of fail.
It's Rosh time.
It's Rosh time, let's go. And Gambit, what, do you want to see them go into Rosh or like into Radiant Triangle and fake the Roshan, hold out for a fight?
I think they can start it. Dream can start to hit it at the very least because he's got Mask of Madness.
I ping it out.
It's going to get scouted right away.
We know exactly what's going on. Enigma, they've got a long trek across the map. They've got to migrate from the bottom lane up towards Roshan. It's going to be a close call.
They'll see GH right away, too. They have the Warden Sentry outside. They even see ILtW for a second.
Rosh is dead.
It's too late.
They're still going to jump in with a 3-man back. No, it only catches 2 in the PKBs. Afterlife and Dream able to turn back onto GH. Good Chrono as well. Looking at Blade. Takes out the Nyx Assassin. No buyback on him. And Nigma falling apart around the Rosh pit. Light Striker ready to deal with some of these illusions. Well, Nigma want immersion, but he can't be found. And Dream just rolling straight on in with the help of Immersion's Earth Spirit. Great Light Striker Ray. Shen's a goner. A double kill for your Faceless Void after taking Roshan themselves.
Such a good, I mean, it's such a perfect timing really for the smoke, for them to actually get into the pit. A move from Nigma sends them all the way to the opposite side, and they can't actually make it in time. And that was their timing that they went for too. That was the Scotty, that was the Invoker X. They even popped the meta. ILtW now has no meta for the upcoming fight either. So it's going to give time for Chronosphere to come back up, and it's going to give time for Gambit to continue taking advantage of this map.
Oh my God, oh, the Glimmer. It's a good Tornado. I don't know if it'll finish him, it will, just about. I mean, is that Nigma losing track of the Roshan timer? I mean, they went down to bottom to find the Faceless Void, but it felt like they should have been there a little bit sooner.
Just happens, Dream. He got it. I mean, it was just a great TP out. He read the movement. If he gets caught there, a completely different situation where maybe they just get the roach.
Yeah, that's true. A good read by Gambit overall, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder now, a lot of these series going 1-1. What starts to happen if we've got a bunch of 1-1s in this wild card?
Redo everything. Let's go.
Re-go. Best of twos again. Another round. It's starting to look like it might even go that way. I mean, Nigma taking Vici Gaming 1-1. This was a secret against Gambit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to have a cracking wild card here for when we play Animajor.
And it really is looking pretty tough now for Nigma to utilize the Chen at the maximum, right? They don't really have these great combos.
They're going for Miracle. Gunning for him inside that jungle. They've got Dust Reveal. They do clip him there as the immersion goes deep. Time dilation from Dream. They've jumped onto ILtW, but that Terrorblade's pretty damn strong. Clears through the Earth Spirit, no problem. And Gambit reconsidering their actions, but they do time up rewind. In there with an Ice Blast. Terrorblade just gets demolished. No Sunder, no saves, no chance for ILtW. And Mind Control, he's on the run. Faceless Void can't keep tabs on him. And Gambit, they strike real hard. They know the heart of the jungle.
They know there's no meta available, so the biggest team fight thing that they have to be worried about is just off the table. Even though they don't have Chrono, they have Aegis, they have Cheese, they have this huge power spike with them. They just chase forward. And Dream, nice plays there with his time walk for sure. The jump in, then the jump out, then resets back in with BKB. So no Sunder target. The poor TV is just standing there.
He's just going to go and try and 1v3 them here.
Sure.
He's running straight at this Chen. He knows that Kuroki potentially a freebie, the Ice Blast, the Yule setup. Try and clip onto Mind Control as well. They've got a Vacuum, Cataclysm, stun out from GA. Turn around from Miracle. They found the leader. The Chrono's required, but the others there onto Mind Control going to save him. And buy a bit of time as Dream focuses the next assassin. Plenty of stuns coming though. Carapace, Cold Snap, chaining up onto the Faceless Void.
Oh my.
And Aegis is gone. Nigma, Miracle. The Invoker outplays. Fog is starting to happen. Penitence and Forge Spirits. They got much left in the tank. Miracle's running low on mana and he gets dusted up, so the Ghost Walk not going to give him that ability to keep chasing forward. Dream should be out of there with Mom and Time Walks.
They did not give respect to the fight when it was like all of them just like split up there. Nigma capitalizing here, finally getting a two-man stun into the Cataclysm. Nice Deafening Blast too, the disarm inside that Chronosphere. Even just for a second, it's effective.
Snap Smoke.
And they're moving in.
They go straight towards Dream. He spends Time Walk. The stuns come. Dream is getting his BKB off, but the Time Walk got cooldown. He's dead. He's got meta going. This might even force a buyback and a Void, dare I say? Like, they can't go high ground though, can they? They're still tier 2 standing.
Like Gambit splitting up, like Afterlife TP top to go do so. I'm not sure what he was actually doing with the Viper when the rest of his team was still looking for a fight all during this. Nigma capitalizes heavily after what looked like a bit of a big disaster there. Now they've got their meta. They're going to go to tier 2, and they've got Alacrity buff up.
Straight onto that tower. I mean, Metamorphosis, what, for another 10 seconds or so? Do they push up to high ground here and just force the hand of Gambit to do something drastic? They've got Catapult, Forge Spirits, another Toxin placed down on the ramp. Slows the advance of Nigma for now, just for a second, as Mind Control blinks and surges. He was looking for that. One kill could be what tips the scales for Nigma here to just end the game.
Void still down for 30.
Didn't have to use buyback yet, though. And Nigma going to have to give up on their plans of pushing.
But, I mean, massive fight after what looked like they were going to get run over. Yeah. Full BKB now comes out for Miracle. Full item also for the Terrorblade. Everyone just got so much gold influx to them because of that pretty big slip up from Gambit splitting up.
And Roshan negated, right? That second Aegis is meant to be able to get yourself tier 2s, maybe high ground push. But you look at the Radiant side of the map now. There's still every tower up top lane, tier 2 mid and bot lane. And Gambit might start to struggle to really close this one out. And 22 to 22. Slight net worth lead for Nigma. Again, back into the dead even game in terms of metrics.
And I don't want to say it, but, you know, that time walk cooldown, when he BKBs there, his time walk would have been back up, Gary. That would have probably saved him in that situation there, so.
You're spot on. It was literally 1 second. It was literally 1 second cooldown difference between the Void surviving or dying.
They're still in an okay position. They still have very strong fight, especially when Chrono's up and they know meta's still down right now. They still could look to take some of them there, but they do have to be careful not to split up ever like that again. They cannot give these opportunities to Nigma when they had that type of lead.
GH burrowing, hiding under the ground, setting up for a TV to try and split push a little further in that top lane.
Oh, he's just a nuisance too. I mean, 1 or 2 mana burns. Now that he's level 16, he's got max mana burn. 1 or 2 mana burns inside of these team fights is pretty ridiculous too. Like Lina, you've got BKB, but if you don't use it right away, you get caught by a mana burn into a stun, into another mana burn, you're out of the fight.
Yeah.
So Gambit does still have to be a bit careful with the way they position themselves. Need to get some of these Dream Chronos again, as he has a full butterfly now.
Oh, that's nice.
A bit more survivability for him versus the Teraboid.
And Lena getting pretty big as well.
Yeah.
MKB, BKB going back into Dragonlance, it looks like. Yeah, trying to pick that one up.
Yeah, a bit interesting how Dream went for just his own build. He just went for his own aggressive build rather than looking at the, I guess, the Elven Tunic in particular from that Terrorblade, plus the evasion talent. Could see these misses coming into play for sure. Sure, he's got a lot of attack speed because he has the talent and butterfly, but there's more evasion now on ILtW.
Well, a roll up to high ground. Immersion yet again leading the charge.
He has the gem too, so he wants to be the one in the front versus that Nyx.
Looks like Kuroki's Chen has already managed to get away from that dangerous area.
And he's got the shard now too on the Chen, important to point out. He did die on the courier earlier, but...
Dire Vision still up on that high ground, and Miracle getting rolled towards.
He's speedy.
Speedy Invoker, yeah.
He's got BKB too, so he's a lot safer in a lot of these fights.
And look at GH. He's so emboldened by his Axe pickup. He walks straight in towards them. The send back from the Chen. Oh, it's not going to be in time though. Now the Miracle gets the BKB off, but the physical damage shreds through the Invoker, and he's dead for 70.
What's our time? 35 seconds till we find out that Roche. But their lanes, look at the lanes though from Gambit. They have to actually go back to top, back to bottom to push them out. So they get this nice kill from this Chronosphere, the nice 2 kills, but can't actually turn it into anything else just yet.
Yeah, they're on the back foot still. I mean, what, TB illusions, Chen creeps, ion shells, everything making life difficult for Gambit.
Let's find out that Roche. 10 seconds, they have the illusion already in there.
There's a casual Mango on the floor. And GHE again back into his position up towards top. Make sure that whoever shows up there is pestered and annoyed.
He can still set up with Cataclysm pretty easily too, whenever the Invoker does respawn.
1 minute 20 for Roshan.
Yeah.
A decent spawn time there. Everyone should be alive.
It's what, 1 minute 20 you said, right? So 80. Okay, so it's Chronosphere is pretty much going to be back up as soon as that Roche comes out. So maybe a pretty fortunate timing there for Gambit that it's not super fast.
And it looks like both teams, they know that Roche could be up. They want to start smoking, find these team fights, especially for Gambit to set the lanes where they want them across the river. And Nigma just going to be holding their position now around the Roche pit. Radiant side just loves that triangle. Juicy smoke from Nigma coming out.
They've got meta.
They know the Dream is a little bit out in the open.
Yeah, no Chronosphere, and they have meta of their own, so they should feel pretty strong inside of the fight. And these, I mean, the lanes just keep getting forced. Top wave, we have double siege wave coming into play. Illusions keep getting sent up there too, so they have to address it. Nigma trying to catch something while they are split up here a bit. But they're all sticking together now. Rallied around the gem.
Yeah, stay tight to it.
Yeah. Play around this one ward vision was one ward that they do have on the high ground right now. Alacrity talent is taken now finally from Miracle. We see most of these Invokers, of course, skip the rest of them because they're not that great.
TV is going to be a happy chappy.
It is pretty strong. 129 bonus attack speed and damage for an already monstrous TB.
What did he end up buying on that TV now? ILtW.
He just got MKB.
MKB.
Yeah. He's got the Elven Tunic already built in for that evasion from earlier.
So I saw at one point, I don't know if you saw it, he had Diffusal Blade queued up for a second.
I saw him do that one of their games, but they were playing versus Medusa.
Medusa, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's extremely effective damage item on agility heroes, as the damage is 100% of what you mana burn, especially with like illusion heroes too now. It's even it's different, but it's kind of just better than it was before. So, but not this game. It doesn't have a place.
Yeah, because he finished off the Scardy instead of it. Looks like he just gave up on the idea.
Needs to be a little bit more tanky so it doesn't just get burst.
So irritating for Gambit though. Everywhere they move, there's a Forge Spirit, a TB illusion, something that's getting in their way.
Like bottom's gonna get pushed out right now. Nigma's wave is gonna continue getting forced out onto their side, and his other 2 lanes, my control, keep seeing him ion shelling mid. TB sends illusions top, so it's very annoying actually for poor Gambit to get out on the map to look for the fight. They have Chrono though, so it's gonna happen soon, and they potentially do have the gold. They actually do have the gold right now for the Void, and if I'm not mistaken, it looks like they were trying to give Dream level 25. Yeah, they're all moving away from his XP, so nearly backtrack available for Dream 2, so pretty big.
That could be a turning point here for them.
They're both pretty close to 25. Lornaviv's a little bit too far, though. Dream. Have a slip up there.
Yeah, illusion rune.
Feels the ghost walk for a second there. He knows that he's there. I want him to go finish for that 25, though. I think it's just too important. Like,
Yeah,
he's just about to have the backtrack.
There's nowhere to farm though. Look, the TV illusion's cleared out his triangle. Everywhere else in his own jungle's gone.
Give him the lane. Give him mid and play behind him. Yeah, this is the play. This is good.
Can't go bottom, right? That's too far away from Roche Pit. You're just going to be handing over Roshan to Nigma.
No, this is good. Sit behind him in the mid. But
TV illusions,
illusions, and ion shell.
Oh, they're really
illusions.
Pissing him off.
Yeah. Miracle also now we did find a timeless relic. So damage.
So good.
Damage is going to be ridiculous with all of his spells, but also we have to factor in the disarm. The disarm from the deafening blast also
the duration.
The duration. Yeah, the duration plus your cold snaps and everything. It's going to be very strong. Can mess you up though. I've seen a lot of times with these tornado lift times. Yeah. You're just like, wait, this lasts forever now. So. Does have to be a bit careful there.
It's like you're hoping for them to have status resistance at that point.
Yeah.
Let's go, just drop quicker, please.
Which he does. You know, he does have S and Ys.
That's true. And a Satanic now as well.
Yeah.
So we hit 25, get the Satanic going.
What other items did we see picked up? Lornoff, he got himself a leveler. I believe the TB swapped the Elven Tunic for the leveler too. He's also almost hitting his 25, so that attack range plus his Dragon Lines, he's going to be able to keep a distance and actually hit back the Terrorblade, perhaps, from that distance.
How are we looking on buybacks here? I mean, Chen, Invoker, Earth Spirit, the 3 with them. Lina will have hers soon.
Not many.
Really, not many at all. It's going to be incredibly important for some of these heroes to buy back and get towards the Roche Pit again. Because that's definitely where the fight's going to start kicking off as the Void time walks straight into the pit. Thinks about starting it. Nigma are in the vicinity.
He does do it at full HP, but just has to be a little careful of this pesky GH. He's pinging. He knows that he's there, so does have to be a little cautious. They're actually going to smoke and look for the wrap. It's though. The scan actually sees him.
Oh, and GH is going to get an abandon soon. He's been sat by the Roche Pit for a good 2-3 minutes, just burrowed in the ground. Well, there's smoke, like you say, coming across. Haste Rune.
They're not revealing it yet. They're not picking up the Haste Rune.
Not grabbing it.
This is the bait.
GH is going to pop the smoke there. They know exactly where he is. Sentry Ward, Observer Ward down on the low ground. They silence and catch out the Nyx Assassin, but the Hand of God, is that enough? No way. Carapace, turnaround stun. Oh, he's dead though, with a vacuum into the wall. Good 4 staff time walk from Dream. And Nyx Assassin dead for 1 minute, knowing that he doesn't have buyback, so Nigma in a 4v5.
They popped the meta as well too, so they got to commit into this fight soon. Gambit resetting.
They're trying to stick around in this pit. I think ILtW wants to try and steal it.
He has to go for this because he has meta action.
But here comes the Ice Blast comes in as well, the Scythe of Ice. The Deafening Blast, no, the Sun Strikes. Cataclysm coming to land in as well, but ILtW's in trouble. Oh, he's sent back.
He dies.
Oh, he's still gone. The Mind Control Aeon Disc is popped as well. Here's used up. Light Striker Ray connecting. That's Roshan going to Gambit.
They had to try to commit though because they popped the meta and they didn't have any buyback from GH, but it ends up working horribly against them. As even though they get the send back, he dies in the base from the AA blast, so
close. Beautiful stuff from Gambit though. I mean, that kill, knowing, you know, we looked at it knowing there's no buyback there from the Nyx Assassin, making sure they get that 1 kill, numbers advantage around the Roshan pit, and now the world is their oyster.
GH stayed in the same place for just too long, and you can actually like save this Nyx Assassin perhaps if you can get in close enough for like a 4-staff, but Kuroki couldn't, ILtW didn't want to, so he just gets chain silence and he's dead. He can't pop out of his burrow, he's just trapped inside that location. Looked a bit weird because Dream, you know, having to pop BKB and Satanic, but it ends up working just fine as they get Aegis, they get Cheese, and now they have a shard for the next fight too, for the next Chrono.
And this Lina is becoming huge as well.
Yeah, she
Daedalus just picked up, so the right-click damage coming into the Chronosphere, that's going to be monumental from Lornoff.
And look at the distance.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Artillery cannon, 10 miles away. It's pummeling the buildings. High ground time now from Gambit, it looks like as well, while Dream pushes up mid lane into the tier 3. GH has burnt the majority of his mana though. Definitely bothering him as a good stun into Meatball. Scythe of Ice, vacuum back. They're going to keep though, buys a bit of space for the Viper. Half HP to run away.
But they're sieging 2 sides. Lornov is also pushing bottom. That's, you know, pushing into a Nyx high ground is quite pesky when they go for this Aghanims build. This is what you're supposed to do exactly. Split it up, go for 2 different sides while they do that setup there with the burrow.
And now Nigma all respawn.
They're chasing out.
Gambit try and disengage, but Miracle, he's caught a glimpse of Afterlife. The BKB TP looks like it should be successful. There's nothing to stop him.
Nice. I was gonna say he should be fine. He's got Flicker too, so he can just, you know, dispel the cold snap and continue moving. But takes the safer route. Gambit in a very good position now here.
Yeah, I mean, what's the move from Nigma? Do you want to wait out this Aegis and hope to hold high ground, or try and get out of the map with split push like they were doing before?
I think if they just keep playing it too patient, it's going to play into this Gambit hand, actually. They'd have the potential for these crazy wombo combos, but Yeah, I'm not sure it's different.
It.
Yeah, relying on it is quite complicated. And just relying on the Kuroki trying to save somebody inside of a Chronosphere is also just not really that reliable either, because it's 6 seconds. Like, that's the one thing about this. Back in the day, it used to, you know, it dropped down from like 6, 5, 4, maybe even down to 3 if maybe it was 4. But either way, like, this is 6 seconds. It's a very long time delay to get sent back inside of a Chrono. Literally, the whole Chronosphere will be gone by then. You might have to preemptively do it.
Yeah, use it on someone, run them in, force out a couple of spells, and then kind of do that guerrilla tactics back and forth, kite them out.
It just feels very complicated for the win conditions now for Nigma inside of these team fights. They need some miraculous connections with every single spell.
And we're looking at him there.
Here we are.
That's the man. That Invoker right there. I do have a lot of buybacks on Nigma now as well. I mean, Darks is the only one without it, so that could be something that they use to their advantage.
I still see GH only with this Ags. He's got Aeon disc queued up. I can see why for like the survivability, but I feel like they need some other way to start fights. They actually just have a blink vacuum every single one of these, so it just seems really difficult for them.
Oh, misses out on his stun.
Uh-oh.
I think GH has been baited by his Invoker a little bit there, telling him to go on the Viper. And so another Toxin. They'll whittle away at him little by little. And now, pick off on him.
I didn't get to point this out either, but Immersion finds himself a Timeless Relic, and he's got the +3 Geo Grip. Oh, Chrono is totally off the mark.
He was hunting for Miracle there.
He's got a Refresher Shard, but he actually, okay, he tips Miracle. I thought Miracle tipped him. All right. But yeah, let's look at the silence duration from this Earth Spirit now. So 6.5 seconds pre-debuff duration buff. So that's like a 9-second, just about a 9-second, silence that's going to be coming out from this Earth Spirit.
Yeah, good luck, honestly. What do we have? We've got BKB Invoker, Manta TB, but everyone else is kind of screwed, aren't they?
Nyx can't do anything. Darkseer can't do much of anything if they do get silence up. He has Aeon Disc at least to proc and remove the silence, but if he gets put on him afterwards, yeah, Mind Control even also will have very difficult times. And they use the Chrono, but they've got a Refresher Shard, so Dream already moves that into his bags at the ready.
And boldly going up to that high ground again. He's got his BKB at the ready too. They back Hex, start off onto the Faceless Void with a nice little war stop there. They're going to take down the Aegis. Oh, it's below. He's still alive. He's still alive, but surely will die. First life gone. Pops that Sand and Asher back into his inventory. And this is Metamorphosis from the TB, needing to get to... Oh, Dream, what have you done? That's not the good one. Misses out on another Chronos. Miracle runs forward with the Cataclysm. Chases towards Lauren, but the leaders managed to escape thanks to the forces and low assaults from the rest of the team. Ancient Apparition, left stranded.
Did you get him?
They've got the stun. Scythe device from the Mind Control too. And we're starting to see it. The Centaur army from Kuroki. We mentioned it, what, a couple of minutes in. That's the chain stuns you need.
And Dream just completely whiffing 2 Chronospheres as well. Yeah. That is, oopsie. Maybe panicking a little bit when he gets vacuum hexed and double Centaur stomp, but some big mistakes coming out from Gambit. Nigma capitalizes a bit here. Don't have meta for their push, but they're going to try anyway, now that AA is dead. Try to get some type of map control.
And again, looking at buybacks, you know, Nigma have all of theirs. 3 available for Gambit. As the high ground push coming from ILtW. They've got Alacrity, they've got TB Illusions. They're not doing anything too rash though here. Slow and steady from Team Nigma. Don't want to give up any targets that could get jumped in. Mind Control's positioning here, it really is that blink hex, blink back hex, and Dream is going to be the one to get caught.
They're going for it.
There we go with the meatball, definitely blasted. Can they save him? Can they get him out of there? Dream, he's nearly dead. Oh, he's gone. He's got buyback though, they've got to pop it. Turn this back around, but Afterlife he's being blown up by ILtW, but the TB, Laguna bladed, and Dream's buyback will open it up onto Kuro.
Again, I'd have to see a quick replay down. Dream kind of just panicked. He BKB'd, popped Satanic, had nothing to hit, and just ran around in circles. I think he could have just BKB'd and time walked out. Bit of a mistake from him, and now he doesn't have buyback. This is now a concerning moment here for Gambit. If he gets caught again,
could be lights out.
Yeah, he actually just has to spend up his gold. He's going for Lincolns for himself to protect him from the vacuum hex that now has caught him off twice.
They're going to have double hex though now, aren't they? Like Invoker's nearly got his, and I guess he's waiting for buyback plus.
And his hex is a lot more impactful, of course, the Timeless Relic. So it's going to last even longer versus that Void. Dream making some big slip-ups for his team.
And here we have it.
We get to see this again. It looked like he had a moment, right? Because I think he got Lotus for a second to try to protect him, but...
Well, yeah, now he's fine.
He stood around. It's okay. A little bit of a slip up as the fight is going on in the base for a second here, but...
All right, pop BKB Satanic again. He does have to buy back there, but Gambit on the front foot once more.
ILtW not wanting to buy back himself.
Just give up the barracks, relinquish a little bit of room here.
GH.
Immersion onto GH. Light Striker 8. Yeah, that's a tanky Nyx. Deep underground. So Gambit claim what they needed. It's buildings, objectives. Get themselves that opening into the Radiant base, but it's not the killing blow yet, and that's what worries me about this Gambit side, is the ability to finish.
It has to be like everyone's focus has to just be protecting Dream at this point. Laurinov, he's got buyback. Everyone else just has buyback, but you need to just make sure that you can protect this Void. They have Force and Glimmer on the AA, but nobody else really has anything fantastic to kind of protect him with besides the Lotus on Afterlife. Who, speaking of Afterlife, has now hit 25, so we've got Nether Toxin with pretty much 0 cooldown now at this point, 3 seconds.
Nice, nice.
So there's going to be multiple of these inside of the fights.
Well, it's our favorite time of the game again. Fogged, 10 seconds until Roshan respawns.
Yep.
The dance of death around the pit.
It's got to be so scary as Dream too. They have more lives than you.
Yeah.
Nigma has 10 lives. You only have 7.
And you need Aegis on Dream at this point.
Or sorry, 8. Yeah, and you do need it, absolutely. He's got Lincolns to protect himself at least versus the initial Hex, but now that you said, you know, there is the double that can come out to trip him up. So he has to be very, very wary of his positioning. I don't think he can ever again really frontline like that until he has his buyback available again in the next few moments.
Oh, Kuroki's got a potato. I don't know where the rest of his creeps are, though. Maybe he's lost his Centaur army or something. No, they're all regrouping back up together.
Hey, 1 potato's value.
Yeah, that
10%. It's like a pipe.
That cloak, super good against AA in particular.
Yeah.
And GH looking to scout out around the Roche pit again.
35 seconds.
That's a fast one. Speedy spawn on the map. Any stragglers, anyone that wants to risk their life to push out a wave?
Laurinov doesn't even know what to buy anymore. He's almost full slotted. He's got, of course, the Ags and the Shard and stuff like that, but it doesn't really fit with his build right now, so going for Aeon perhaps next.
Especially when it comes down to these buybacks, the ability to stay alive, not get burst. Aeon Disc is incredibly important for you.
Yeah, and he's got bots too, so he can buy back and join right on top of the fight. Doesn't have to worry about not having an outpost or something along those lines. That's because the continued pressure keeps coming out. Nigma, Forge Spirit's bottom, Iron Shell plus TB Illusions on another lane. So it is still the same thing that Gambit keeps having to react to. That might give Nigma an opportunity to sneak in and catch somebody off guard. AA does not have buyback. It's still a pretty big kill, even if they find BZZ, who's pretty far out right now.
Do they see him? I don't think they do. They spot Immersion in the mid lane.
They
have sent out BZZ, but they know Immersion is a target they could potentially go for. Missing out the next stun to the vacuum back with his Skadi going. Immersion rolls away thanks to BKB and the Chrono. Cataclysm going to come and land in onto a couple of the Gambit guys as BZZ's blown up, but ILtW survives. Gets away from the Chrono. Immersion destroyed. A double for Miracle. And now Dream's the one in trouble. Oh, Faceless Void. Without buyback, you've got to really hold on for dear hope here that your teammates can respawn because you got no Chrono, no AA.
He didn't know who to hit. He had no targets there. He just continues hitting GH, who has an Aeon Disc propped. He's in the burrow. Then he switches to TB for a second. He's panicking. I mean, Dream is really starting to crumble a bit here.
And they've still got these Forge Spirits, and it looks like they'll try and level out the barracks in the mid lane. Terrorblade still has the meta going. Time dilation for the tornado. Oh, Faceless Void. Dream. Chain stun. The stop. The EMP. He's been caught out. He's dead. He's gone for 2 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Nigma find the 1 kill they needed to secure this game. And Afterlife, he's just going to fall flat on his face here, I think. He's dead. A double for ILtW. Quick stun to back. Gets the triple kill going. And Gambit completely out of contention. GG's called.
I cannot believe what we just witnessed. Gambit had this game in the bag.
Chen winning a game.
Chen wins a game, but also, in the manner that they end up losing. A Chronosphere whiff in the bottom lane, a refreshed Chronosphere whiff in the mid lane into a Chronosphere on the wrong targets. Nigma must be celebrating there. Mind Control with the refresher at the end there, popping off, and my God, they've actually done it. The chain stun's coming into play.
Yeah, I mean, great itemization. The Hex, as you mentioned, the Vac into Hex, then